Hi, I'm Kat and welcome back to my channel Rising from the Illness. Today I'm just going to give you a really quick brief update on what happened with my appointment yesterday. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell if you do want to follow me on my journey living with a rare disease. Let's get going. Hi, welcome back. So thanks again for coming back and for following me on my journey, my story. If you haven't watched my previous kind of 2 videos, you might want to go back just to kind of get the gist of what's been going on. But basically I had my very important appointment yesterday in London regarding my plasma exchange funding treatment. It's very, very complicated. There's quite a lot of red tape and basically we're no farther forward in any decisions. We did get a bit of an explanation and some answers which I feel should have been given to me when I received the letter in December, because I feel like that would have reduced the amount of stress and anxiety, because you know I just got this letter saying your treatment's been pulled, and I took it quite personally. I was like, is that because they don't feel like I'm worth like treating anymore, or do they think that I don't need it? Like it was very, very confusing. So the kind of long short of it is that my neurologist was based at another hospital but was doing clinics at the hospital where the Centre of Excellence was. He was getting the treatment funded through his hospital. So when he retired, that funding then went. And the reason why the plasma exchange isn't funded by the Béchet Centre of Excellence is because it's not like a registered licensed treatment under Béchet, because it's not a typical treatment. Plasma exchange is kind of tended to be used for more kind of cancer patients, which is where it's licensed for, although it does help Béchet's patients. Because it's rarely used, it's not registered. Is that right, Chris? Yeah, sorry, Chris is here because
It's not on the treatment pathway.
It's not on the treatment pathway. There we go. Chris was with me the whole time. I really struggled to retain information, so Chris has kind of talked me through it quite a few times, but also Chris is quite kind of more obviously scientifically and medically minded, so he kind of retains it a lot easier and understands it, which is good for me because obviously I've got someone to kind of relay it all. So that's the kind of, as simple as I can put it, that's why. And at the minute there's no other option to get it funded, basically. So at the minute they are actively looking for neurologists and gastroenterologists and people who might be able to put me back onto the plasma exchange, because it's not just for, it's obviously for my gastro, but also for the seizures and everything. It's been helping in a wide kind of range of things, so it's not just one thing. So that's kind of good in a way, that there's a few different options we can look at. But at the minute it's not that, like, that's how it is. The funding isn't there, it has to stop. We're looking, so it's obviously scary. It's taken me like a little while just to get my head around it all, but while we were there I obviously just kind of got checked out anyway, had a bit of an MOT, had my eyes checked. They did a sort of x-ray of my gut area. As you all know, I have real issues with having a poo. And I thought my recent treatment with the Peristeen catheter to help me poo every day was working really well, because every day I was getting a bit of movement. It turns out I am totally packed, like literally up to here, none of it, all of this. Is it that far up? So all of this, all the way around my large, all the way in my middle, is it my colon as well? Everything was just like black. There was no definition of anything. You know, she was saying that the whatever tubes, or it should be like, you know, oh, it should be this big, and yours are like this big. Everything's just bursting at the seam, which shows that obviously there's more issues going on than we realised. So it might have been a blessing in disguise that this all happened, because otherwise I might have just been carrying on my treatment thinking everything was fine, when actually it's not fine because I'm packed, which may be why I've also been going massively downhill, because it's pushing on my nerve receptors.
All sorts there.
Yeah,
Nerves.
the nerves receptors. So she said that's probably another factor as to why I've been passing out so much. I've been struggling with like talking, like there's loads and loads of things that have been going wrong. I'm also horrendously anemic, low on hemoglobin, ferritin stores. So there's been things that are brought up because of this. So I'm kind of, obviously it's a horrible situation, and it's still like I'm terrified, and I literally broke down and said I am absolutely terrified, and I felt like they did care, and they were saying like they were really sorry, and they were doing everything they could. They were like, you know, they had just a list of things, a list of people that they wanted to speak to communicate with, to kind of, you know, like I felt like they were really kind of invested in trying to help me, which is what I didn't feel from the letter. The letter was very, your treatment stopped, that's it, which caused me so much distress. So I feel like when people say like knowledge is power, I definitely feel a little bit more kind of composed, that it's not like a personal attack on me, like we're just taking your treatment away, we don't want you to have it. There's a reason. There is not a plan, but there's, you know, I'm on people's radar, they are trying to do something about it, but in the meantime there are other issues that need to be sorted out, and you know, potentially they might find another treatment that might work better than plasma exchange, we don't know. So that's the kind of obviously I'm not going to go into it like masses, but that's the kind of gist of it. It was a very long day, very stressful day, very emotional day. I spent a lot of it in tears, because I was just, you know, I feel like if I'd have done this yesterday, you wouldn't have understood anything I said other than but I've had a chance to kind of speak to Chris about it, and we still feel very apprehensive. I'm still very like scared as to what's going to happen, how long this is going to take, but I just feel a bit more like knowledgeable now, and I feel like, you know, even for ourselves we can do some research into if there's any specialists around, you know, and try and push that over to London to see if they can get in contact. You know, at least we know now what the issue is, and we can try everything. I have written to my MP, still no response at the minute, so we are kind of doing everything we can, but I just feel we've got a little bit more kind of knowledge, and although I might seem quite composed at the minute, I am still really really struggling, like really struggling inside, and definitely here. But I just want to say thank you for all your just amazing support, for sharing, for liking, for just, you know, people are offering to set up GoFundMe pages and everything, and I just appreciate it so much, because it's like knowing that I've got all of this support like lifting me up that just keeps me going, because there's a lot at the minute that's just making me go, I can't do this, I just can't. And it's really nice to know that I've got people around. So thank you. I will keep you updated as and when I know anything. But yeah, that's all really from me. Sorry if it's a bit boring. It's not very exciting. Basically, I'm in the same situation as I was this time last week, but I just have a little more knowledge. So yeah, anyway, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all that jazz if you want to follow me on my journey and just help me raise a bit more awareness. But thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon.